Have you ever noticed how some women enter a space and, without trying, the air subtly changes? Conversations slow down, eyes lift, people feel something shift, even if they cannot explain why. It is not about flawless beauty or dramatic gestures, it is something quieter, deeper, an invisible presence that lingers long after she has spoken or moved on. That kind of attraction is not loud, yet it is powerful. It does not beg for attention, yet it commands it. And once you feel it, you never forget it. Before we dive in, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. We'd love to see how far this conversation is reaching. What most people never realize is that real magnetism has very little to do with appearance. Beauty may open a moment, but it does not sustain interest. What holds people, what makes them want to stay, listen, return, and remember, is energy. The calm confidence behind the eyes, the steadiness in the voice, the sense that this woman is at home within herself. That feeling cannot be faked, and it cannot be rushed. It is built quietly, over time, through inner alignment, rather than outer performance. There is a powerful shift that happens when a woman stops shaping herself to be chosen and begins shaping herself to feel whole. That shift changes how she walks, how she speaks, and how she responds to the world. She no longer moves from lack. She no longer performs for approval. Instead, she becomes rooted. And when a woman is rooted, people feel it instantly. Growth plays a role here, but not the kind driven by comparison or pressure. The most compelling transformation happens when self-improvement becomes an act of self-respect rather than self-criticism. There is a quiet difference between evolving to be admired and evolving because peace matters more than praise. When growth is fueled by self-love, it softens the nervous system. It relaxes the shoulders. It removes desperation from ambition, and that calm intention becomes visible in everything she does. A woman who grows for herself does not rush. She does not compete. She does not explain her worth. She knows that there will always be someone younger, louder, or more celebrated, and that truth no longer threatens her. Instead of chasing validation, she invests in her well-being. Her mind becomes clearer. Her habits become kinder. Her body becomes a place she feels safe inside. That sense of inner safety radiates outward as confidence, the kind that does not announce itself but is impossible to miss. Another subtle form of power shows itself in how she treats others. There is a rare beauty in a woman who can admire without envy, who can uplift without comparison. Genuine compliments carry weight because they are not transactional. They are not given to gain favor or attention. They are offered freely, without expectation. When she notices beauty, effort, or courage in someone else, she names it openly. And because there is no hidden agenda, people feel relaxed around her. In a world where insecurity often disguises itself as indifference or judgment, kindness rooted in confidence feels magnetic. People sense that they do not need to shrink or perform in her presence. They feel safe being themselves. And safety is one of the most attractive energies there is. When others feel seen and appreciated around you, they remember how you made them feel long after they forget what you said. Warmth deepens that effect. Not forced cheerfulness, not performative positivity, but authentic emotional openness. A genuine smile, offered without calculation, carries more power than perfection ever could. It softens defenses. It invites connection. It communicates ease. There is something profoundly beautiful about a woman who allows herself to enjoy life openly, who does not hide joy to appear mysterious or untouchable. Happiness, when it is real, becomes contagious. Laughter shared without self-consciousness changes the emotional temperature of a room. It reminds others of their own humanity. And there is nothing more attractive than someone who feels alive in their own life. When joy is allowed to flow naturally, without apology, it becomes an invitation rather than a performance. Depth, however, is what transforms attraction into something unforgettable. The ability to listen fully, without interruption or distraction, has become rare. And because it is rare, it feels extraordinary. When a woman listens with presence, not waiting to speak but genuinely absorbing what is being shared, she creates a space where others feel valued, not analyzed, not rushed, understood. True listening is an act of generosity. It requires patience. It requires humility. It requires curiosity. And when someone feels truly heard, they instinctively trust the person who listened. That trust becomes emotional intimacy, even in the smallest interactions. In a world full of noise, the woman who listens deeply becomes a place of calm. People gravitate toward that calm without fully understanding why. Confidence, contrary to popular belief, is not built through words whispered into a mirror. It is forged through action, especially action taken in moments of discomfort. Every time a woman chooses courage over avoidance, something inside her shifts. Fear loses a little authority. Self-trust grows stronger. And that internal shift changes how she shows up everywhere else. Speaking when the voice trembles. Entering spaces alone. Trying something new without knowing the outcome. These moments accumulate quietly, but their impact is profound. Each step outside the familiar rewrites an old narrative that says, safety only exists in staying small. Over time, the woman who once hesitated begins to move with certainty. Not because fear disappears, but because it no longer controls her choices. This willingness to engage with discomfort gives her presence weight. There is steadiness behind her eyes because she knows she can handle uncertainty. That steadiness reads as confidence to others. Not loud confidence, not dominating confidence, but grounded confidence, the kind that feels stable and reassuring. Energy is also shaped by where attention is placed. Positivity does not require constant happiness, and strength does not demand emotional denial. A deeply attractive woman allows herself to feel pain without allowing pain to define her. She processes her emotions honestly, then chooses not to live in bitterness. She understands that feeding negativity drains the spirit, while gratitude restores balance. Practices like reflection and journaling become tools of alignment rather than self-judgment. Gratitude is not reserved for perfect days, but practiced in ordinary moments. This trains the mind to recognize abundance even in imperfection. Over time, this perspective softens reactions, steadies emotions, and brings a sense of peace that others feel immediately. People are drawn to those who bring calm rather than chaos. Peace has its own gravity. When a woman carries peace within herself, she does not spread emotional turbulence. She becomes a grounding presence, and that presence feels like relief in a tense world. One of the clearest signals of inner strength is decisiveness. Indecision erodes confidence quietly. It sends a message, both inward and outward, that self-trust is fragile. But when a woman stands by her choices with calm clarity, something shifts. She moves through life with intention rather than hesitation. Decisiveness does not mean rigidity. It means clarity, knowing what aligns and what does not. Speaking boundaries without apology. Walking away when respect is compromised. Choosing what feels right rather than what is convenient. This level of self-trust is deeply attractive because it signals emotional maturity. When a woman trusts herself, others instinctively trust her as well. Her energy feels stable, predictable in the best way. There is no confusion about where she stands. This is not control or dominance. It is self-respect made visible. And that self-respect sets the tone for how others engage with her. Feminine power is often misunderstood as passivity, but true feminine energy is rooted in choice. It does not wait to be selected. It selects what aligns. It does not chase affection. It attracts through authenticity. When a woman stands firmly in her values, she stops negotiating her worth. Attractiveness, at its core, has never been about flawlessness. It has always been about energy, the way someone carries themselves through uncertainty, the gentleness in their tone, the strength in their boundaries, the grace with which they exit situations that no longer honor their peace. When self-worth is internal, behavior changes naturally. There is no urgency to impress, no need to prove, no fear of being misunderstood. The woman who knows her value moves differently. She becomes memorable not because she tries to be, but because her presence feels rare. People may not always articulate what draws them to her, but they feel it. They feel the steadiness, the kindness, the emotional safety, and that feeling stays. The most powerful transformation happens when a woman builds herself not for applause, but for alignment. When she chooses herself consistently, without guilt or apology, love stops feeling like something to be chased. It becomes something that meets her where she stands. That is magnetism. Quiet, grounded, unshakable. If this message resonated with you, support the channel by liking the video, subscribing for more deep conversations like this, and sharing your thoughts in the comments. Your presence here matters more than you know.